What's up, everybody? This is Tequila with TruLuv Designz. I'm back with you guys. Like I said, I'm so happy to finally be back. Hopefully you watched my vlog video, and I talked about, I guess I kind of left you at the end saying I got sick, and I did. And what was crazy, I'm going to go ahead and I'll tell y'all the story. So that was Monday. We did our after Christmas shopping. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just cutting, actually, I have a PDF pattern of the Arlo turtleneck dress and top by Petite Stitchery. I am putting that PDF pattern together and cutting it out. So that's what I'm working on as I talk to you guys. So hopefully it's not too noisy. But so we went shopping the day after Christmas. My husband and I both returned to work on Tuesday, and he happened to get sick while he was at work. He came down with like a little stomach virus, so he was in pretty bad shape. So I had to leave work and kind of tend to him. Well, in the meantime, I'd been experiencing like some mild cramping starting like that Monday evening. But it was, nothing to be concerned about or worried about. I just, thought it would go away. But as Tuesday progressed, it got worse. So just imagine I'm trying to take care of my husband, but at the same time, I am over here trying to keep it together while I'm over here feeling worse. So by Wednesday morning, well, let me see. I'd gotten a heating pad because that's how bad it had gotten, and don't want to give you too much information, but I don't usually cramp, during that time of the month or whatever. So it was really weird, but I ended up using the heating pad that night, and by the morning I was in so much pain. I was literally crying, asking to go to the emergency room. And by this time, my husband is like, he's back to normal. He's feeling great. And he knew I was in bad shape because I don't normally get sick. I'm usually taking care of everyone else. But when he saw me in tears, he knew, it was serious. I was literally crying all the way to the ER. And by the time I got there, I told him, I feel like I'm in labor. I said, my pains feel like labor pains, except labor pains have never made me cry. And I had 3 of my babies natural. So they knew it was pretty serious. Anyway, they gave me, of course, IV pain meds, got me together where I could finally rest. They did some CT scans and found that I had some uterine fibroids. One was pretty small and one was the size of a fist. So they put me on some pretty basically Tylenol with codeine, and then some prescription ibuprofen. However you say that word. Anyways, put me on that, and I'm taking that, around the clock because my pain was pretty serious, and I was over it. So that goes on a couple days, as it progresses, I feel a little bit better each day, but then there's the side effects of the medicine, right? So every day I thought I might be able to go to work, but no, I couldn't even sit up. I did not feel okay unless I was laying down. Like any pressure on my abdomen was just torture, okay? So let's see, what is this? I go on through the week, like I said, progressing. Then I start feeling a different kind of pain, like I knew I needed to eat, but I was feeling full and I was just uncomfortable. And I didn't realize that I hadn't went to the restroom in a few days since taking the medicine. Well, come Saturday morning, I'm in so much pain and I really do feel like I need to go, but I can't. So at this point, I realize like I am very constipated. So let me say this. There is a certain emergency room that when I lived in Grand Prairie, we would always go to. Love them. Great service. Excellent. All the time. Never get anything short of good service. So now that I am in Glen Heights, there is literally the same chain, the same hospital chain, an ER, like literally 5 minutes from me, maybe not even that. And had a bad experience before. You know, I was sick before, went in there, they did nothing but give me an IV and sent me home. No blood test, no urine sample, no nothing. And I ended up back at this ER in Grand Prairie because they didn't actually, you know, do their due diligence. So this time I say, you know, I just really feel I need some. I'm feeling really backed up, like I'm in so much pain. Just let's go here, babe. Let's see how it is. Go there. Basically same thing, but this doctor was a little nicer. I mean, you know, he basically said wasn't much he could do but give me some prescriptions to help with my constipation and pretty much recommend some things for me. And there is this thing, there's this like powder like Metamucil, but it's called Puracil, I believe. I'll find it and put the picture here. But anyway, he told me to use that, and honestly, I could feel it working. It didn't gripe my stomach or anything. It didn't make my stomach feel upset. It just kind of was like an irritated feeling, but it did work. And actually, let me back up. They told me that, and I was like, I'm not about to take any more, you know, I don't want to go get any more prescriptions filled. You know, something else is going on. And we went home after that, and I'm literally like screaming in pain. So we end up going to the ER in Grand Prairie. This is Saturday. So this is the second ER visit on Saturday. So this will make my third trip to the ER. And basically, they do some more testing. At this point, I'm telling them where my pain is and how bad it is. They feel like it may be something that calls for an emergency surgery. So of course I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't really drink anything, but they wanted me to take some pain meds, and I could only take tiny sips of water. And that was like the hardest thing for me to do because I can't even swallow pills with water. Like I just gag and end up not taking it pretty much. I have to have some kind of juice or something to take pills, okay? So I try to get this medicine down, and she's like, just small sips in case we have to do surgery. And I'm like, oh my God, there were 2 pills. I was only able to get one, and that one was just kind of sitting like right at the back of my throat, and I couldn't get it to go anywhere. And it was the most god awful feeling and taste, and it was just uncomfortable. So my husband did end up sneaking me like a little bit water, a little bit more water, so I could just get it down. And I only took enough to get it to go down a little further, and I left it at that. Thank God they didn't end up having to do surgery. I did another I did another CT scan, and did I do another CT scan? Maybe not another CT scan, but they did do a vaginal ultrasound this time. And you know, they're looking at things, and when he got on my right side, I almost screamed. I was trying to hold it together so bad so that they could get the images that they needed. But when he got there, I was like, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, that's where the most of my pain is. Just this really strong, dull, intense pain that just literally had me bawling, okay? So he said, okay. He said, yeah, I see. And so I'm like, oh, what is it? So the doctor comes back and he says, you do have 2 fibroids, you know. We still see those, but, you know, they are kind of changing in size, getting smaller. But there's also a cyst on my ovaries. So that is the pain that I was feeling. Not only that, found out that the medicine I was taking, the Tylenol with the codeine, is what was causing my constipation. But then, not only that, the nurse says, well, with the pain you're having, it's okay for you to take 2 of the Tylenol with codeines if it's, you know, really bad. You can do that a couple times or so. And at that point, I was just fed up with taking the medicine because I didn't want to feel that way. And my husband was fussing because he's like, I just want you to feel better. You know, I don't like you being in pain. And I understand, but at that point, he just did not understand my pain. The constipation, the medicine, and after trying to take that pill with a sip of water, I was just, every time I think about taking a pill, I literally wanted to gag. I just couldn't see myself taking more. But anyways, we went ahead and got the Parasil when we left that ER visit. And guys, it really does work. And he actually told me I can take it with up to 3 times. I can use it up to 3 times a day with my meals. And he actually recommended it until, you know, I was kind of regular or whatever. But I wasn't doing that 3 times because of the feeling. Like I said, it didn't make my stomach right, but it was just an irritating, uncomfortable feeling. I think 1 time a day was enough, and that did the trick. So I was down for a whole week. I missed a whole week of work. Well, we were off that Monday. I left to work early that Tuesday, and then I missed the rest of the week. So I did return back to work on the following week. Well, at this time, the flu is going around. The cold and flu symptoms and everything is going around, right? My nieces have been sick. A couple of the kids have been sick at this point. And then here it is. I start to feel it settling, like right here in between my throat and my chest. And I'm like, oh my God, like I just got over this. Okay, come on. So I get that. I'm sick with that, you know, congested, whatever, for about a week. That starts to get better. But then I'm left with this cough. And it wasn't like a horrible cough, but it was just like a choking cough that would just keep me choked up. And still, you know, I'm congested. You can hear it, but not, you know, really just coughing up anything or whatever. So that went on for about a week. And at my job, I do call patients to schedule them for testing and follow-up appointments with the doctor, as well as calling their insurance companies to get approvals for procedures that, you know, the doctor is requesting them to have. So at this time, talking is difficult. I'm basically talking like in a whisper, you know, soft like this, not in full voice, because anytime I tried to talk in full voice, I would just get choked up or I couldn't breathe. So a lot of stuff in the air, you know, rainy days, whatever. And that cough kind of starts to get better, but it kind of turns into like an asthmatic cough to the point where, like, when I would get to work, now this has happened to me before, so I kind of think I developed like some kind of seasonal asthma, depending on what's in the air and whatnot. And this has happened a couple times actually. And so I got on the breathing machine, the nebulizer, twice that week, which really helped. And I also had to use my asthma pump about 2 or 3 times. And when I would get to work is when it would really get bad. So I knew it was whatever was in the air in that area that would cause it to flare up. And so that went on for a week. So my birthday week comes the week of the 18th or 16th, something like that. And I'm just like, Lord, please just let me get well enough to enjoy my birthday. Literally. The day my birthday was the first day I actually felt like good. I could talk in full voice without choking. I wasn't having, any real breathing issues. I was good. And my husband, he did a great job on my birthday weekend. He got us a room for the weekend. We went and celebrated with another friend, another great friend, that I call family, who also shares my birthday. And we actually had a surprise birthday party for him. And if I can find some footage of it, I'll insert that as well. But it turned out to be really, really great. And that is honestly when I started to feel better. My husband was just like, take your sewing machine with you in case, we have some downtime and you feel like fun. I'm like, baby, I just want to relax, just rest and relax with you. I'm finally feeling good. I'm a chill. And he was like, well, you might want to. So I gave in and I packed up my sewing machine and everything. And I grabbed a few patterns and some fabric and took it on with me. Honey, I never touched the thing. It never came out of the bag. I was just happy to be able to breathe and enjoy the time with my husband. And I will also insert some clips from the birthday weekend or whatever. And that's it, guys. But I feel 100% better, and I just feel like I lost so much time from, sewing and my channel and just being, able to interact with the community. I didn't realize how much, this meant to me. I know it means a lot to me, but I just didn't. I don't know. I felt like I was going through withdrawals at a point, because I'm just like, I gotta do something. I need to do something. But that's the gist of where I was and what happened. I hope I didn't bore you. And if you have made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you staying around and listening to my story, or even just being interested enough in my story. But, one of the things that the doctor has said to me is that sometimes, he said you can live with the fibroids. They will go away. The fibroids and the cysts, they both will go away on their own. However, if it persists and gets worse and they don't, there are certain options, including hysterectomy. And when I say surgeries are not on my list of things to do, it is not. So send up a prayer for your girl, because I'm not looking to have any more surgeries. I had my tubes tied, after my son, and that's the only surgery I've had, and I don't plan on having any more. But I've heard the pros and cons of a hysterectomy later on in life and all that stuff, and how to stay off the hormones. A friend told me, if I have to have a hysterectomy, do not let them take both of my ovaries. If they don't need to, don't let them take any, but at least keep one. That way my body will continue to produce its own hormones and I don't have to take the pills, because that is my biggest issue with it. I'm not a fan of taking long-term medicine. Not if I don't have to. My husband and I, we try to find a lot of natural things. Even with the kids, we try not to give them too much medicine. And, if you can, let your body fight it off. But, we understand that there's some things, that calls for intervention. But for the most part, we try to keep it natural around here. So, if you have had fibroids, a hysterectomy, or anything, if you can offer any tips, let me know. Not only that though, y'all, I was so afraid when that time of the month came again, which it came like literally right after, the week after I got over, that pain or whatever and returned to work, it came right after. And I was so afraid that it was just going to cause me more pain or kind of exacerbate the situation. And thank God it didn't. I was fine. But, there was that initial fear. I won't lie. There was that initial fear. So, any tips? Any advice? Am I be glad to take it? Just leave it down in the comments for me. And like I said, I am glad you chose to stick around this far in the video. I'm glad you were even interested to know. So that's all I have for you right now. I am in Texas. School has been closed since Tuesday. It is deathly cold outside. And I've checked my email every day just to make sure, the clinic was really going to be closed, and it has been closed. It will also be closed tomorrow, as well as school. So I've had 3 days off, and I've tried to be productive and use that time wisely, putting some patterns together, getting them cut out and whatnot. Now, our power did go off earlier. It was only for about maybe 30 minutes or so. But I was just like, oh Lord, no. Don't let it be. And thank God that power came back on, because it started to get cool really fast. Mind you, my kids went outside and they were playing outside. So I was like, hey, the power's off in here. Y'all might want to get back in here so y'all can, keep some warmth, because I don't know how warm you'll get when you come back in. But thank God everything was okay. It all works out, and we are back with power. I'll insert some pictures of how it is looking here. It's ice. People here can't drive. And I know people always like, they shut down school. Well, yeah, we don't hardly get real snow. We get ice. And yesterday, it literally rained ice for 3 hours. I could hear it on the hitting my window so loud, to one point that I thought someone was in my room wrestling through papers or something. That's how loud it was. But it rained ice for 3 hours. So that's what's going on here. That's it. Like I said, thank you for sticking around and even caring to listen and watch this video. And that's all I have for you. So keep it light, keep sewing. I hope everyone is safe and warm in this weather. I don't know how other parts of the country are, is doing right now, but I'm just praying that everyone is safe, well, and warm. Until next time, see it, make it, slay it.